All right, welcome to today's class on Designs 101. My name is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing, and in today's class, we'll be going over all the designs that you have access to in your KW Command account. Okay, we'll be taking a look at creating a listing flyer that can be printed out, and then a separate piece that we can post on social media or even put in the body of an email to promote your app or listing, etc. And we'll also be taking a look at email signature banners that we have templates on our website. All right, so just an overview of the class, but where we're going to start is Command. So to log into Command, we'll go ahead and go to agent.kw.com. And I always think of that as like the agent login to kw.com. So that's how I remember it. So again, that's agent.kw.com. And if you have not already, that is a great thing to bookmark to your bookmarks bar on the top of your browser, because you'll be going there quite a bit. And then we'll go ahead and log in. All right, so this username and password here is the same as your login for MyKW. It's the same login as for Kelly. They're trying to streamline all the passwords, which is a beautiful thing, because I don't know about you, but I have enough passwords to remember. All right, so go ahead and put in your password here. It does require a capital letter if that helps at all. And click sign in. Of course, we always have the forgot password option, or you can email support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be more than happy to help reset your password. All right, and as you're logging in, feel free, if you're still searching for your password frantically, first of all, relatable. Second of all, we're gonna do a little housekeeping first anyway, so you have time. But if you are in your Command account, okay, first of all, it takes you right into your Command dashboard, right? So this is where I am, an overview of everything going on in Command. And where we're going to navigate to is your name. So if you could go ahead and click on your name on the top right of Command. And then let's click on Settings from that drop-down. So again, I logged in to agent.kw.com, clicked on my name on the top right, and then Settings from that drop-down. Okay. So from here on the left-hand side, let's come to the Connect settings and marketing profile. So again, on the left-hand panel here, we're clicking Connect Settings and the Marketing Profile. Okay, and this section right here will autofill onto literally anything created in Command, which is really great, makes your life a lot easier, but you of course need to make sure this info is correct and filled in. So any contact information filled in on the marketing profile will autofill onto any designs you create in Command. It will go onto your smart plans, your IDX website, any landing pages created. So of course, it's very important that this is correct. And real quick, if you are jotting down notes for today's class, it's always great to know how to get back here, right? And you do that by, again, step 1, click on your name on the top right. Step 2, Settings. Step 3, Connect Settings. And step 4, Marketing Profile. Okay, so feel free to jot that down. So as you scroll down, you'll see a bunch of fields that have a red star next to it, right, or red asterisk. Right, so you'll need to make sure to fill in all fields that have that red star, as that means it's required in order to save the form. And your headshot is another required one, just a heads up on that. So scroll through, at least eye over everything and make sure this is filled in. If it is completely blank, we can do this for you. So if you would like, I'll answer that question for you 1 second here. So if you would like for us to fill out the Command marketing profile for you, if you copy and paste this link into your browser after class and fill that out, we'll set up this marketing profile for you. And also, we will set up your Command IDX website as well. So if you would like us to do it, it's free for us to do. So feel free to fill out that form to have that done. And if you're watching this recorded, that form is just scottleroymarketing.com/command. Fill out the form, and we'll get that done for you. As far as the question of if you are in more than one market center, good, glad to hear it. If you're in more than one market center, there's not really a way in Command. Command does not provide a way to display both. However, we found workarounds. So if you are a part of more than one market center, feel free to email us, support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can help set your marketing profile up into market centers with some workarounds we found. Just heads up on that. Let me see what that question was, and then we'll get moving here. All right, sorry, how do we fill out that form? Was a bit behind. No worries. So after class, just copy and paste, or you can type in scottleroymarketing.com/command. All right, and it'll take you to just a bunch of form with questions to fill out, and it'll prompt us to set up your marketing profile and your Command IDX website, and it's free. So that's always a great thing. All right, so you can fill that out after class. Email to set up profile. And of course, this is our email if you need us for any other questions. All right, so moving right along here. Of course, if you made any changes, please make sure to click save at the very bottom. Okay, it's the worst when you make changes and forget to save it. We've all been there. All right, but if you do make any changes here, make sure to click save. And of course, you can let us do this for you at a later time as well. So that's all the housekeeping that we need to do. You know, if you jot down notes, you can come back here after class to fill this out yourself as well. All right, now that we did all the boring homekeeping or housekeeping stuff, let's get into the fun stuff of creating a new design. So on the left-hand side menu, this is the command menu, and they have centralized everything to the left-hand side, which is awesome to make navigation a little easier. So just a further tip, if you click on this KW logo on the top left, it'll tell you what each section does so you can start to learn the navigation. All right, so we are actually going down to designs. So it's the icon that kind of looks like a pen drawing a beautiful design on a paper. I don't know how artistic you are, but let's just say it's a good thing I'm not drawing these postcards and sending them. So we are going to designs, again, a little more than halfway down on the left-hand side. And if your section is blank here, that's normal. Okay, so don't be alarmed. So these are your design templates. If you haven't played with designs, you won't see anything here. These are designs that I have created, okay, and they're categorized at the top here. All right, so it breaks it down. So again, this is going to be your library. All your saved pieces is what you'll see first, and you can see it by category at the top here. So you can find that design quickly that you already created or even search for it. Now, if you have not created one, let's get going on that. So let's go ahead and click on this big plus sign on the very bottom right of this design section. Okay, big teal bluish button on the very bottom right here to create a new piece. And if I lost anyone, okay, this is kind of a pivotal moment. If you are not in the design section, I'll lose you for quite a while here. So make sure you're in the design section. Again, the icon that looks like a little pen and pad on the left-hand side menu. And then we're clicking on the big plus sign here to create a new piece. Okay, so we have quite a few options here. So we can create an email design, social design, print, video, or import a PDF. Now I'm going to focus on the social and print design options in this class. So let's go ahead and follow along with me. Go ahead and click the social post. Let's start there. And if you are going to be promoting a listing, because I'm going to show you how to, promote a listing on your Facebook, for example, you can go ahead and click on this option to import photos and text from a listing, and that will that'll bring over the information of the listing that you can click on to pull onto the piece. So it'll make your life a lot easier here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on next. So again, I selected social, and I'm going to click this checkbox if I'm creating a listing piece. And then next. Now, because I clicked that checkbox saying I was doing a listing, right, it'll bring up this option to search for a listing here. Right, so if you did not select that you're doing a listing, you won't see this checkbox, this new box here. So I'm going to search through all listings. So on the top right here, it's showing you if you want to see all listings or only your listings. So you can toggle that here. You can, of course, search by the property address or MLS number on the left-hand side. All right, guys, so just kind of try to find one to practice on today. If you have a listing that you want to practice on, awesome, go for it. Or if it's just, a random listing, you can select all listings from this drop down on the top right. And then I'll go ahead and click select next to whichever one I'd like to choose. And that actually takes you into WeBrand, it's called. And it might ask you to log in one more time, and that confused me quite a bit the first time. So if it asks you to log back in, that's correct. Go ahead and log back in with your command login and password. And it could, because it's actually taking you over to a site called WeBrand. And that is what is used to create these pieces, just a heads up. So on the left-hand side, it shows you all the different categories of pieces that we can look through. So if I go ahead and click on this on the left-hand side, right, I can see that we have some pieces to promote my app. If you're not seeing your listing when you are, clicking your listing to pull that in from, it may be an issue with your MLS ID not being in the white pages. It can take 48 hours to pull over from the MLS to command. If it's been longer than that, I would go ahead and email support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can do it after class. Just let them know that your listing is missing, and we can look into, make sure your account is set up correctly for those to pull over, and contact KW International if needed. You can still follow along with class without having that in there. Obviously, that's helpful, though, long term. So, again, email support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'd be more than happy to look into why your listing is not displaying. If you have used Microsoft Word or something like it in the past to make flyers for an open house, how would this be better than that? You can continue using Microsoft Word if you have some templates created. These are just templates. So you'll see it's pretty easy to change out these pictures and verbiage here. So you can see if you like your template, go ahead and keep using it. If you'd like to try these out, you more than definitely can. What if you didn't want to use an MLS listing and want to upload photos or listing info yourself? Yeah, you'll be able to upload info and photos yourself. So just hang tight on those questions, guys. I promise I'll answer it for you in just a moment here. All right. So on the left-hand side, so we see a bunch of listing pieces as well. So I'm going to take a look at, we have some for sale pieces. Feel free to just kind of click through this list. All right. That's what I like to do to kind of get familiar with everything I have accessible to me. And just heads up, guys, I'll be answering questions intermittently throughout class. So I won't forget about you, but I'm going to do it intermittently so that it doesn't disrupt class. All right, so left-hand side, you can click through all the different pieces. And above and beyond that, how you're seeing these pieces here, which are beautiful and really eye-catching. Also notice on the top here, we have the different platform options. So if you are planning on posting this to Facebook or Instagram, right? Instagram has a different format. So you'll notice these are all square versus Instagram stories. Also a different format, right? More of a rectangular view so it fits in your story. And these are very, very eye-catching pieces that will really stand out on social media. So I really like these a lot. All right, but I just want you guys to note that that is available here. And if it's only available on Instagram, you're probably still on the My App section. So just click on down and you'll see a bunch more options there, guys. All right, so for the buyer, you can click on any of these options just to highlight a few that I really like. I really like the client testimonial option. I think that's kind of outside the box as far as, posting on Facebook, and is such a great way to get extra clients. It's one of the top things you can do for your marketing is get testimonials. So what a great way to market them out with an eye-catching image. Okay. All right, so you'll see a bunch of different stuff here. Client love, there's a great categories in here, not only to promote listings, but also to generate leads, right? So a little more general information here as well, like the local expert option here, or the neighborhood snaps, which I'll be showing you in just a moment. So hang tight on that. All right, so let's get rolling on how to edit these. So I'm going to come into the just listed options here. You can choose whichever one you'd like. It'll be similar, the concept. I'm going into just listed on the left-hand side. I'm going to make a Facebook piece for you guys. And I'm going to select this one. So whichever one you like, all you need to do is hover your mouse over it and click use. Okay, so whichever piece you would like, simply hover your mouse over the piece and then click the red button that says Use. Okay, you won't see that Use button until you hover your mouse over the piece. Okay. So once you click Use, it'll pull up the piece, and we are now ready to edit it and make it personalized to our listing. So first of all, I want to, of course, change out the image. So this is a default image, of course, which is a beautiful kitchen. I would love to make some breakfast in. All right, so we have this image, and I want to change this out. Now, the best way to change this out, so on the left-hand side here, there's a couple different ways. So I'll show you guys both ways. You can add in the photos custom, so you can add custom images from your computer, or you can pull that from the KWLS, the listing photos, okay? So the two ways to do it. So first of all, you'll need to click on the image that you want to select. And just a heads up, sometimes I have to double click them in here. Well, let's see. Click it one time for this to work best. So click just one time, and you'll notice that the image is selected, right? Because it has a box around it with a dotted line and dots. All right, so it's selected. So now on the left-hand side, I have my library here. So I have a few options here with images on how to replace that. So I have my library, okay, and I can also add to my library. So where it says add on the far left, okay, I can then click this drag and drop option to search through my computer. So this is if you have the listing photo on your computer that you would like to use. All right, all I did was click on the image one time to select that. I can then come up to add if you would like to add a new image, okay, or it can be pulled from your library. I'll show you that in a minute. So we're clicking add, and I'm going to click this drag and drop image here or click to browse to upload because I have this photo on my computer. All right, let me grab that real quick. So I'm browsing my computer here. All right, and I just double clicked on the image on my computer that I would like to use, and it'll bring that in. Okay, so there it is. So now what I need to do is switch it out with this photo. All right, guys, I would not suggest clicking on the photo or it will just randomly put it in the middle of it and you have to reformat the photo. So if you want the photo to fit exactly where this one is, it makes your life so much easier. Again, we clicked on this once, and since it's clicked on, I can see it has that perforated line around it. And now I'm going to hover over that image I just added. And this is really important for your sanity. We want to select the replace image option. Okay, if you're not seeing this replace image, and that looks like 2 arrows in a circle. If you're not seeing that, it's because the photo is not selected, all right? So see, now it's not available. I have to select the photo I want to replace first, then come over here, and I'll be able to click replace, and boom, it changes it out. I think it's just still loading. It was doing that to me earlier. We'll let it sit a little bit and see if that'll get unblurry there. All right, so that is how you can easily change out photos here. Okay, you really want to use the replace option, and you can see how it fitted in, right? It had even those curved sides as well, corners here. It kept all of that formatting because I selected the replace option. All right, so that's how you'll replace any images here. All right, in your library, because you can also add further images. So we want to use the replace option if there are currently photos on it that you want to replace. It's just killing me that it's blurry. Let's try this one. There we go. All right. So you want to use that replace option if you currently have a photo. But let's say like my headshot or my team logo is not on this piece and I want to add that. Okay, I can absolutely do that by clicking on the use image, right? So that's the plus sign here, and it will add it to the piece, which I can then resize to add that in. Now, the reason that your headshot is, because you're probably wondering, why is my headshot not on here off default? The reason it's not is because these are Facebook posts or social posts. And when there is a social post, right, usually like your Facebook headshot shows right next to it with your contact information right on there. So that's why these Facebook posts are a little cleaner and a little more void of your contact info and feature more the listing info because, right, they're on your Facebook page. They have all of your info and can see your beautiful headshot. All right, so that's the idea on these social posts specifically, but you can absolutely add further images or headshots here. Now the logo is the trickiest thing on this. So another thing for your Sandy, take notes on this. So for DVA logo, right, you know how I was preaching about using the replace option? Yeah, the replace option doesn't work for logos. So for logos, we just need to delete this default one so we can add in the correct one. So this one right here, let's see if I can get it again. There we go. It can be a little fickle, as you can see, right? If you click on it and it just won't click the correct logo, try clicking in the margin and then back on it, and that generally helps, okay? Sometimes the clicking gets a little funky, but so now we need to delete this logo. And deleting is super easy on these pieces. You can either click the trash can on the top right or click delete on your keyboard. But remember, guys, to do anything to specific items on these pieces, you have to click on it first. And like I mentioned, it can get a little funky. So make sure when you click on it, you see the perforated line around it. I just struggle with that word. So make sure you look for that so that you know it's selecting that. So when you delete it, okay, so you can click the trash can and it will actually delete that item, okay? So again, for logos, we need to delete and then add a different logo. So you can add that, pull it from your library, okay? So if you have that logo added in, I already do, all right? I have it in my library. However, if you do not, you can always come right here and browse your computer for that. And we do have a short video on how to download all of your Market Center logos. So if you want a transparent logo, for example, go ahead and email support@scottleroymarketing.com. Let them know you would like the video of how to download your Market Center logo, and he can send that to you. It's just a short 10-minute video, and you can find those in your MyKW account in KW Connect. All right, so then you can add those in here and click on that to add it to the piece right away, right? But if it adds it very large, you can just always click on the sides, right? You see the dots in the corners here, all right? That gives you a resizing tool. So if you click on any of these big dots in the corners, you'll be able to resize that. And then you can click on that to move it and drag it where you'd like it to be here. Okay, so this is how you can move the objects around, clicking on corners to resize, clicking on the middle to drag and drop it. All right, so we have our images down here so far. So now let's go ahead and update this, all the info about the property itself. So for this, for example, now when we click on any of this, let's click on the address first. So when we click on any of the content that we want to update, you know, with this listing data specifically, you'll see this KWLS option display on the left-hand side. Okay. Again, for this KWLS option to display, you have to click on a piece of information you want to update. Okay. If you're experiencing glitches, guys, make sure you're using Google Chrome incognito window specifically. Okay, Google Chrome and Firefox tend to work the best with KW Command. So try not to use Safari or Microsoft Edge. I have a Mac too, so I feel that pain in that statement. But, you know, just download Google Chrome. You can literally go to Google and type in download Google Chrome or Firefox, and that tends to work the best with the KW Command system. All right. So as far as changing any of these out, so I already have the listing linked up, right? And so this is the second option here where I can change the photo on here to one of the listing photos. So since that's pulling from the KWLS, right? So these are all the listing photos. So if I like one of these better, remember guys, I need to click on the image I want to replace first. It's always the first step. So select the image, then come over here, hover your mouse over the image you'd like to replace it with. And we want to use the replace image option, right? That replace image option looks like two arrows in a circle. It's the most important takeaway of this whole class, clearly. All right, so you have the option to pull the photos from there or even the listing details. So if we come on over to listing details, so it's in the white box here, we have the option of photos and listing details. So we need to change out this information here to the correct details. And this already pulls in for us, which is pretty cool. So for example, let's say I want to change the address to the correct one. What I would do is I would select the address, right? We're always selecting and replacing, general rule of thumb. So we selected it, and I know because it has that perforated line around it, Goodness. And now on the left-hand side, I do see the address. Right? You can see it's even labeled as a property address. And quiz of the day, do we click the plus sign to add it? And now we're all raising our hand and saying no because you've listened the whole class that we instead always use the replace option. Great job, class. So we're clicking the replace option that again looks like 2 arrows in a circle. All right, and just a quick note while we're talking about this, I don't know how many times when I was practicing, I would just click the plus sign and it randomly puts it in the middle and I'm not like, oh great, now what? All right, if you ever make any mistakes, right, like randomly adding a photo or messing up a photo like that, all you need to do is come on the top left here and you'll see an undo button and it will move it right back. Maybe. All right, so this undo button is your friend on the top left. It will revert any changes that you just made, especially if you mess this up. Because this, in order to start to learn this, it's about clicking around and messing up. And I know that's frustrating, but what a better time to spend some time learning this in quarantine, right? Trying to think of the silver lining. So this goes for all of the content on here. You know, if I now need to change out the beds, okay, I'm gonna click on the beds number, do replace. It'll pop that in, right? So I'm replacing all of these. But of course, this can be updated, right? So for baths, well, this one has 3.5 technically. So if I want to manually click in here, I can to change this text box. Whoa. All right, so again, you'll have to play with it just a little bit. But we can manually change this information to 3.5 here. Apparently without some. And let's do the undo option here, right? Since I royally messed it up. Maybe not. All right, but you can update this these text boxes manually. Okay, so if there's 3.5 and not what it says on the side there, all right, you might have to mess with the font as well. So on the top, when you're selecting any text boxes, you can also mess with the font at the top. So as you could see, when I edited that, that got very large. So I can change the font to be the correct font and then move it back where it needs to be. Okay. Maybe. And don't worry, guys, I will be answering your questions. I'm almost done with this piece, and then we will be moving over to take a look at print pieces and how to share this out. And I will answer your questions. All right, so let's say we have our finished piece here. So now we're ready to share that. So on the top right, we have some download options. On the top right here are share and download options, and we're going to click the download feature. Now, we would recommend either saving this as a PNG or a JPEG. Okay. If you want to print it out, you can absolutely get the PDF. So if you're printing it, I would do the get PDF option. Other than that, I would do PNG or JPEG. A little cool note for the PNG option, there is an option to download with a transparent background, which I thought was pretty neat. But if you are posting onto your social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you need a JPEG or PNG, and we'll click Start Download. So what you would be able to do at this time, actually before I switch gears and show you guys how we would share that piece now that we've created it, I'll go ahead and answer your questions. All right, so that's what's happening next. I'm going to show you how to share it. Interesting. Yeah, that might be an error, a glitch for you. I would try a different browser, Nathan. I would try a different browser to see if you can get around that. That can happen sometimes if the browser tries to redirect too many times. Designs won't load. I think in Canada you should have access to all designs. I have not heard that in Canada you do not. However, feel free to email support@scottleroymarketing.com and check, let them know you're in Canada, and we can check someone else's account as well. But Canada, you should have design options. This is pretty similar to Canva. So if you've been using Canva, feel free to keep using that. You know, the main benefit to this, guys, versus the other systems you've been using to create social pieces is all of your branding is already there, right? You can pull the listing data, the listing photos. You know, it's different design templates that are already created for your mobile app or your listing with the KW branding and the items that you're in compliance, right? Like each office independently owned and operated, that's an item you're required to have for compliance. Yeah, so for those reasons, I would personally use the command designs just so I have all my compliance items. But Canva, if you're comfortable with that and you want to keep using that, you can. It's very similar. All right, try to grab a listing. Yeah, so that redirecting access.kw.com redirecting too many times, that might be something going on since you guys are experiencing that. I would definitely try using Google Chrome incognito window. If you don't know how to open an incognito window in Google Chrome, okay, all you need to do is open Google Chrome, go to File, and New Incognito window. Right, that will not save any cookies or cache, so you'll always get the most up-to-date version of Command. And since KWRI launches updates literally daily, weekly, monthly, it's really great to do an incognito window every time, so you always get the most up-to-date version. Honestly, that's the best workaround I would say for that glitch you guys are experiencing that. Other than that, email support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can take a look. But he'll probably just tell you to use incognito as well. All right, let's see here. How do I change the text in the box once I click and the lines are perforated? So the text in the box, once you click on it, guys, will be at the top. So once you click on the box, this is the text that you can change. Okay, so you can change that from there. All right, just a couple more questions here and then we're moving on. All right. As an admin, I have 2 agents. Can I toggle between? Unfortunately, no. As an admin, you would have to log into the agent that you're working on in order to create the pieces, and they don't share between the team quite yet, but hopefully that will come in team features soon. But right now, you would have to log in as the agent to create these pieces. Okay, so we have so far created the piece and downloaded it. So now let's talk about posting it. Guys, posting this to social media, to Facebook, is pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you real quick just because I have a Facebook page open here. So all we would do now, since I have that saved to my computer, I would come to my Facebook business page here and go to write a post. From here, you can pick to post a video or a photo. Okay, and I can see this is in my downloads. That's the one I just added. So here that image is, and I can say something like proudly presenting 123 Main Street. Call me today for a free market analysis and virtual tour of this immaculate move-in ready home. Okay, whatever you'd like it to say. And then click post. I just want you guys to be able to see what it looks like. All right, so here it is. Wait for it. So there we go. We have our just listed piece here. It looks very clean. It shows the entire image right from here. And we can also add in some text here. And you could even add in a link to this listing from your website to even take it a step further. All right, guys, so I'm now going to show you. I know that was right. That's a very easy way to share that out to Facebook, but you can also share it out from KW Command. So KW Command does have a social posting tool, and that is really helpful to use in this kind of situation. So let's take a look at how to do that. So on the top right, go ahead and click Done. It's asking if you want to save, so I'll go ahead and click Save. Okay. If you ever need to get back to that piece, right, it took me right back to my designs in Command. Right, all I did, if I lost anyone, I just clicked Done on the very top right when I was editing my just listed piece here. And it takes me back to my designs, right, where I can see all my design library right from here, including that piece I just created. And a helpful tip on that, guys, if you click the 3 dots on the top right of any of these pieces, which you don't see until you hover your mouse over it, by the way, you do have the option to make a copy. So if you wanted to just tweak something small on here, but keep the original, you can do that. Just click Make a Copy, and then you can edit it for a new listing right from there. Okay. So how we are going to post this out. So where you can do a social post right from command, on the left-hand side, we're going to campaigns, the campaigns section. And it kind of looks like a megaphone icon, right? So you can think of that as, that megaphone is projecting out to people, right? This is where you can go to set up campaigns for paid Facebook ads, send out mass emails, direct mail campaigns, and social posts, which is what we're focusing on. So go ahead and click on the social posts option on the very top. And if I lost anyone, I am in the campaigns section. So on the left-hand side, I'm on that icon that looks like a megaphone. From here, I'm selecting social posts. And I love this feature of command. And this is a free feature of command. Favorite F word, right? Besides maybe food. I'll give it that. But free is our favorite F word, right? So social posts are free, so we can start using this right away. So it's very similar to Hootsuite if you've used that before. What you can do is you have the ability to set posts out. So let's say every Sunday night at 8 p.m., I want to sit down at my computer and schedule out 3 posts to go out this week, okay, on my Facebook. So what I would do is I would come into my social posts here, and I can pick what day I want this to post on. So I really like to promote my listings on Saturdays because I feel like there is the highest audience of people on Facebook personally. So I feel like that's going to be seen the most. So what I'll do is on Saturday, so I can see what today is, Friday, April 17th, which is really helpful during quarantine because I have thought every day this week was Friday, including Monday. It was a very sad day when I found out it was Monday. But for Saturday here, we'll go ahead and click Create a Social Post. And this is where we can go ahead and pull that design we just made super easily. So in this text, this is where I could put that proudly presenting, all those gleaming hardwoods I want to write about, etc., etc. And then I have the option to browse my design library. So if I click on that, it'll pull up all my designs that I have created. And I can go ahead and click on the one that I just created today. And that'll take a minute, but it will load that in. And it generally asks you to crop it. So let's see if it'll play nice for us. All right, so generally it'll pull up here and it'll ask us to crop it. All right, and there we go. So we don't want it to be a square, okay? That doesn't work for this piece specifically. So we want to change the top drop down to wide instead. And there it is, fits like a glove, and we can click crop. All right, so there it is. So I can put in proudly presenting. I have my image pulled from designs. I can scroll down here, and the main thing we need to pay attention to next is our scheduling, right? So that's what's so cool about this section, is I can schedule a post for the future. So since I'm scheduling a post, I want this one to be on Saturday, and I can do a time. So if I don't want it to be 10 a.m., I can do 11 or whatever I'd like it to be here. So let's say I want it to be 11 a.m. I can see which page it's posting on. I can preview the post on the bottom left. Okay, and this is exactly how that will look, and you can see which Facebook page it's posting on. And I'll click schedule. Okay, it'll confirm it. I'll click schedule again. And so now I can see that on Saturday, I have this post going out. So this is also a great thing, obviously, to do for, any, holidays, holidays coming up, or, spring, whatever it might be. So holiday pieces you can schedule out in advance as well. So you don't have to actually be sitting at your computer on Christmas posting out something, to wish everyone a happy Christmas. All right, so this is the social posting section. Really great section to start utilizing to posting out your social posts. And brand new feature on the top, on the right-hand side too. You can do quick posts. Right? So these are just created posts already that you can quickly post out as well. Okay, so let's go back to designs. All right, I'm gonna show you now to create a print piece. So if you can come on to designs, And that designs icon again is the icon that looks like a piece of paper with a thing drawn on. Quite fitting, I'd say. And on the bottom right here, we're now clicking the plus sign. All right, so plus sign, if you tried to post a social post and it did not go out, feel free to email us, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We can check on what might be going on with that. It could be that it's posting to a different page. There are a couple different reasons it might not post. So feel free to email us and we can take a look at your account. We would just need your command, login, and password to take a look. All right, so again, I clicked on the, no problem. I clicked on the plus sign on the bottom right here, and I'm now going to the print option. And again, if you are going to be importing from a listing, you can go ahead and select that. I'll leave it blank this time, just so I can show you the difference. So you can go ahead and click next. Okay, and these are print pieces specifically. So these will be in generally a different format. I mean that by, on the top here, how it was saying Instagram, Instagram stories, Facebook, etc. So you can see that the format of these pieces are quite different. So just some things to highlight, you guys can go through and look at these lists by yourself at your convenience. But, some really great ones to highlight: listing presentation and buyer presentations are in here. And these are very highly requested. You can come in here and edit these completely. It'll be the same editing concepts that we're used to here. Lead generation, I love these too. Just because you don't have a listing to promote doesn't mean you can't pick up leads. And so they have a lot of general lead generation templates in here as well under lead gen. And I'll also be showing you neighborhood snaps as well and the local expert. So just some things to note on here. You also have letterheads and so forth and business cards on the bottom as well. So let's take a look at the just listed flyers or open house flyers. It'll be all the same for the flyers. Okay, so the flyers, you do have to change the top to toggle over to that. So you can pick any of the for sale or just listed or open house. We just need to make sure that we're working on a flyer. I mean, totally up to you what you want to practice on right now, but I'm going to work on a flyer because I use that the most. So whichever section you decide to choose. I am just listed here and I'm picking the flyers option. And they are adding new templates in here all the time. Even the video we taught this class 2 months ago, there are double the amount of templates in here. So even more is to come. These look really great, really eye-catching, very clean. So I really like these pieces. Guys, just make sure you are on the just listed. So if you're not seeing a flyers option, you can notice that, right, some of them don't have all the different options. So if you do not see the flyers option, try a different section, or you can, choose to do a postcard instead. Totally up to you. But these selections change depending on what you select on the left-hand side. All right, so I'm in flyers and under just listed, and I'm going to grab this one. I like this just listed. So I'll click use. So again, we're hovering over whichever one we'd like to use, and then you'll have the option to click the red use button. All right, and this concept is very similar to what we were experiencing with the social piece, right? So first thing, so I'm going to kind of try to go by this a little quicker. So on the bottom right, first of all, you can zoom. I don't know about you, but my eyes are not this good. I need to zoom in to be able to edit this. So I'm zooming in. There's a little magnifying glass on the bottom right that you can zoom in and out. So first things first, I want to change out my headshot, right? So because we've all listened so well in class, we know, and because I'm a broken record too, we know we click on the image first. So we have that perforated edge there. Then we hover over our headshot and click the replace image option. Okay, and that makes our life so easy because it keeps the formatting. Of course, if you don't have your headshot in yet, no worries. You click the add option on the top left and you can pick from here. And, you guys, how you were saying you were having some glitches and some issues with it, try to play around with it, because the first time that I went to use this, I was a little frustrated and I swore it was glitching and it wasn't acting right. But I played with it a little bit, and it's gotten a lot easier to use. So I promise it gets easier. If you're a little frustrated with, getting this to work properly, play with it. Just take some gentle stroking sometimes. All right, play with it, especially while you're on quarantine. This is the time to do it, right? Creating marketing pieces. So to change this out, right, we know that you simply click on the image, and then you can replace that. Things like the property disclosure here. Wow, property disclosure, property description. All right, this is the same concept as we were working on, right? So you can click on any property details to pull that from the KWLS option on the left-hand side. But since I didn't search for the listing when I initially created this is where I need to search for it here. Okay, so again, to see the KWLS option, you have to click on a piece of property detail for that to pull up. And if you didn't pick a listing initially when you created this, you can pick it here. So now I'm searching for a listing here and clicking select. You can search for whichever one you'd like. There are a couple different criteria you can search by here. And once you find that listing, click select. And I know I'm not giving you enough time to really search and play around with it. So feel free to just watch on my screen and practice around with it, and then you can come back and do a real listing. But so from here, I can change out any of the photos or the listing details. Of course, I just need to click on whatever I want to change out first. So I'll go ahead and click on the details I want to change out. So I need to come into the listing details, scroll down, and I'm looking for the property description. So that's on the very bottom. So instead of clicking the plus sign, I'm clicking replace. And it's a very long, so you can see it cuts off here. So you may have to play with things like this, like resizing the text box, for example, and resizing the text itself. So again, the dots on the sides will allow you to, really change how this displays. So you can expand any sides or corners right from here so that you can get this text aligned correctly. So that does take some playing with. And you can also, edit the text up here, the size, the actual font, right? You can make it bold and so forth as well to make that pop a little. All right, any of your information here, you can go ahead and change out and so forth. I just want to quickly note this before I change gear. If you are trying to change out, right, so all this information, the listing details on the left-hand side, the only time that gets funky, okay, please note, for example, like the address, right? See how the street address number is in a different text box than the actual street name, right? So these are two different addresses. So this on the left-hand side doesn't really work, okay? Because as you can see, this is the entire address. So if I were going to click to replace it in here, it would put the entire address in here. So just so you know when to use the tool on the left-hand side to replace it, that will replace the entire text box, okay? So it would have to align. It would need to be the same format on the left-hand side. If you have any questions on that, if that kind of confused you, feel free to email support@scottloriemarketing.com. You can pay attention to my name, which is Leah, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions on that. Okay, so what you can do from here once you're done editing this, and I will answer those questions that just came in, but the download option is on the top here as well. And just something I'd like to note that I didn't mention when we were downloading the other piece. So again, we have these three options, right? If you're going to be printing it, the Get PDF is where you want to go. However, if you are emailing this piece out, you absolutely can. If you want to email it in the body of an image, in the body of an email, it would have to be exported as a JPEG or a PNG. Okay, I'm going to say that again. If you are wanting to take this piece and put it in the body of an email and send it out to your database, it would just need to be saved as a picture file, which is a JPEG or a PNG, in order for it to go in the body of an email. If you save it as a PDF, you can still email it out. It'll just be an attachment instead, okay? If it's exported as a JPEG or a PNG picture file, it can go in the body of an email. So I think that's really important to note, right? Let me go ahead and answer those questions, and then I'll show you guys how to make an email signature. How do you edit the words in the text box? Great question. So as far as in the text box goes, you need to double click on it to edit the text. So the difference is, remember, right, I keep saying to click on it once if you want to trade out any information on the left-hand side, like replace it. But if you just need to type in to change it, double click on it and you'll see a cursor, right? You see that cursor? I'm using the arrows on my keyboard to, go on this side. And let's say now I'll change this to 1204 and now I want this one. So I double clicked on it. I'm going to change this to Coachman Drive, right? So that's how you can change any of the text in the actual text boxes. Double click. Yeah, no problem. Hope that helped. All right, when changing out your info on the flyer, is there an option to switch out the info or do you have to do it manually every time? Great question. So this info, from what I've seen, will pull from your marketing profile in WeBrand. Most of the time, I've seen you still have to update it here. However, I will show you where you can go. Actually, if you could, shoot me an email to scottlroymarketing.com. And I will send you, we have a short little 10-minute video. I did not mean to put the small caps. Updating WeBrand profile. Okay, that's not supposed to be in all caps, but email that. Ask for the 10-minute video on updating your WeBrand profile, okay? WeBrand is what is used to create these flyers, and it should pull in your contact information. I have just not seen that work 100% of the time, but hey, I mean, if it works 85% of the time and your contact info pulls in, it's worth it. So shoot me an email, I'll send you that video. Door hanger, using the snap, only problem is that it screws. Interesting. Viewer 58, sorry, I can't see your name. I'm actually going to do a market snap. Let's see if that answers your question. If it does not, go ahead and email support@scottlroymarketing.com. And we just need your login to check on it. But let's take a look at what a neighborhood snap looks like, because that's a really cool one. I'm running out of time, because I always do, because I like to tell you guys all this exciting stuff. So if you can stick around for, I will promise to have this class wrapped up within 10 minutes or less. Okay, so I want to show you guys how to make a neighborhood snap. It's very, very cool. Great way to, promote neighborhoods you specialize in, show yourself as a specialist, and also, pick up buyers or sellers. So what I want to do, if you are not looking at my screen, I clicked on done on the top right when I was working on that flyer. But if you're totally lost, I'm just on agent.kw.com, so I'm on command in the design section. And I'm clicking the plus sign on the bottom right. And I'm going to pick the print option one more time. And click next. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is the neighborhood snaps. All right, so we're in neighborhood snaps on the left-hand side. So again, I was in designs and command, I clicked the plus sign and I clicked print option. Yeah, command does get these neighborhood snap information that's pulling from Nextdoor. So some of it, I've seen it say NA, like the information's not there at all. So I've kind of had to play around with that. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to pick a postcard. You can pick any of these options here. Hover your mouse over the option to choose and click use. Hopefully we're getting a little more comfortable with, at least navigating and selecting the template. And guys, I know it's frustrating learning these new pieces of technology, but note your progresses, right? You're already familiar with how to find these designs and open them. That's half the battle right there. Now we're just working on getting it down to edit it. And I know it's a little fickle. I know it can be frustrating. Take some time to play with that. I swear it gets easier. I can tell you that from my personal experience. Okay, so this neighborhood snap. So that is what, if you keep hearing the market snap, neighborhood snap, that's what this is referring to. You can send out snaps about general areas. So to update that, this is not something you can update. It's a picture, right? So if you click on it, you'll notice you can't do anything with it. You can't update the information here. And that's the most important thing to note for your sanity. You can't update these items. It pulls in as a picture from Nextdoor, like you're saying. You can't update it. So we can update this to our area though. So what I want to do, I'm going to click on it one time to select it. So we click one time to get that lovely perforated line that I cannot say. And I'm going to make sure I practice that word before teaching this again. So on the left-hand side, we'll get the KWLS option. Remember, you won't get the KWLS option until you click on something to select it, something that has to do with the property detail specifically. So I click on the neighborhood snap one time. I then click on KWLS on the left-hand side, and I'm clicking snapshots instead. Okay, so this is slightly different. And instead of putting in a listing address, we're putting in a neighborhood name. And like whoever just chimed in and said that maybe your information isn't pulling in, I had to play with this because certain information or certain smaller areas in my experience was not pulling in. I did smaller areas and it had a bunch of NA on there, similar to that. However, so with that being said, you can't update it, right? You can't change the NA as this is pulling from Nextdoor. They're working on pulling all of that over. They've said it's about an 85% capacity, so I believe that's why all of that info is not pulling over. My best advice to that is to work with what you got. Kind of play around with what you're searching. For example, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, but, I specialize in South Charlotte. So the South Charlotte does have all of the information on there. So that's what I want to use instead, all right, instead of just Charlotte that has some NA on there. So what I'll do to change that out, I click on it one time. I then clicked on the KWLS option, snapshots, and I'm searching by an area here, right? And we're playing with it. That's, I know, not the greatest recommendation, but that's what we got right now until command is 100%. But we'll go ahead and click replace image here, right? And we replaced it. We didn't add it. I'm sure you guys have got that out of this class at least. So remember, we clicked on it, and then you can replace it with any of these. So these are your 3 different snapshot options, just in general layout. So depending on the piece that you pick, you would need to, decide which one of these fit best on your piece. With that being said, you'll notice if you move this up, there is some more info down there. So if you want that to display, you might need to play around with the piece. I like that, so I want it to say. I want it to. So you can see I'm just playing around with it. I'm moving this around here to try and make this fit. I'd probably make this a little smaller. Let's say 20. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Other than that, we can change out the text by double clicking on the text box, and then we can rename this to Hey South Charlotte. I can update this picture if I think this is a lame picture. I can upload my own custom one, or let's see if I can show you guys this. There are a bunch of company images in here as well that you can choose from as far as this image goes. Let's see if I can show you guys. There we go. Okay. All right, so once I click on the image, and that's general rule of thumb, if you want to edit something, click on it one time. You then have the images option and the company. All right, there's not many stock photos that you can use for free out there, like legally. So I love that in the images section, there's a company option. And look at all these awesome stock photos in here, right? Stock photos of families. You can even go to, app images. Obviously, we're not doing an app one right now, but they're really great app images. So you can go through and you go back by clicking on the dots here on the top left to get back to look at all these different ones. But let's say I want one of these. Let's say I want this. We replace it, right? Well, that can work out beautifully. All right, you can play with it to see which one might fit best on your piece here. You can always move that around as well. And there we go. All right, so that's how you can make a market snap. The reason I wanted to show you guys that is you're marketing your general area that you specialize in, and it's also a great way if you don't have any listings or buyers right now. This is a great thing to do to brand yourself as a specialist in that area. And of course, we would download it on the top right here. One more quick note, we would not recommend using the share option on the top right to Facebook, as it will put a link to WeBrand. So I wouldn't suggest using the share option on the top right to share from Facebook here. I would always download it. Honestly, guys, download it as either a PNG or JPEG, and then you can add it to Facebook right from there. Okay, let me take a look. There are your questions. Yeah, that's true. You can use figures from your local real estate board. It's just that these market snaps are picture files, so they're not editable, but you could absolutely add in the information manually. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so as far as you asked if you can post this to Instagram, absolutely. So really the print and social piece, you can really use them interchangeably. It really just matters how you download them. So if you want to post this to Instagram, just make sure you're downloading it either as a JPEG or a PNG, right? Those are the two picture files. And then you can absolutely add it to Instagram. That's no problem at all. All right, guys. All right, last thing I need to do before I let you guys enjoy your weekend, I just want to show you guys where our templates are on our website specifically for if you want a free email signature banner. I'm just going to overview where those are and the two things you need to know about them. So I should be able to wrap this up in 2 minutes here, like I promised. Where we're going to go now is scottleroymarketing.com. I'll send that out. So if you want a free email signature banner, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. If you do not need that, feel free to go and enjoy your weekend. But real quick here, we are on scottleroymarketing.com. And this is our website, okay? So Scott Leroy Marketing. And we want to come down, so scroll down slightly to the KW Resources section. So on scottleroymarketing.com, just scroll down past the large image at the top. Hover over KW Resources. And I would just like you guys to note that we have templates as well. So if you would like to utilize them, they are available to you. You always need your Market Center number when accessing our website. So your password to our website is your Market Center number. If you're not sure of what that is, that can be found on the top right of your MyKW account on the red toolbar. Okay, so these are all of our templates here, guys. So you can scroll down to see all the categories that you have available to you. We have a whole bunch of them, literally thousands. So scroll through to check out the ones you'd like to utilize. What I'm going to show you in today's class is just the email signature banner. So you've probably seen maybe other agents email you and they have this really nifty, sleek looking email signature banner on the bottom. I call it a dotted line instead. Seriously, thank you. That was the best solution of the entire class right there. I will never say perforated line again because I'm just going to say dotted line. Thank you. That made my day. All right, so we are going to email signature here. So go ahead and click on that. So it's in alphabetical order. So if you are looking for the email signature option, just scroll down to find that right away. Okay, it's on the right-hand side. And so these are the email signatures templates that we have available. So they're broken into 4 different categories here. And guys, feel free to click around to see the different ones that we have. I'm just going to tell you there's 2 main things you need to know to edit this email signature right away. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward, and we have a video on the top of the page as well. 2 things you need to know. You need to Yes, this email signature is different. So there are 2 email signature banners available in your design section in Command, which are great. They're cool looking. However, we have hundreds, maybe around 100 different email signature templates in here. So if you're not happy with those and you want to look even further, we just create templates for you guys as well to use if you would like them. You do not have to use them. But if you would like to, you can simply go ahead and click on any of these banners. So let's say I'll use this one here. Okay, and 2 things you have to know. You need to be signed in to your Google account. So these are on Google Slides, so you have to be signed in. So you should see either your headshot or initial on the very top right of your page here, or if it says sign in, go ahead and do that. So now see the difference? It was saying sign in, but now that I'm signed in, that was the first big thing to know. So if you're using our templates, which can be found on scottleroymarketing.com/templates. Again, that was scottleroymarketing.com/templates. So if you're creating an email signature banner that we have here, first thing, we have to be logged into a Google account. The only other thing you have to know is we have to come to File, which is right under the email signature name. we have to come to File and make a copy. Okay. So File, under the email signature name, we're going to make a copy. And this is up to you. The entire presentation, these are just instructions on the left-hand side. So if I just want to make a copy of this slide here, I'll go ahead and select that. And I can leave this, or I can go ahead and do Leah's real estate signature. Only you see this. And click OK. It will now allow you to edit it. Okay, so I'm just going to say that one more time, and then I will let you go enjoy your Friday so you can stop listening to my voice. Okay, so 2 things to know. If you are creating our email signatures, which is on scottleroymarketing.com/templates, the 2 things you have to know: you have to be logged into a Google account. Second thing, you have to click File, make a copy, okay, on the selected slide, and all I'm doing is I'm copying this into my Google Drive so I can edit it. That's all that's happening here, okay? So I'm logging into Google so I can copy this template into my Google Drive so I can edit it to my heart's desire. And it's super easy to edit, guys. You simply click on it, start editing that. All right. Okay, I know that was a quick overview of our email signatures. There is a video on the top. Yeah, no problem at all. I'll go back and answer those questions that came in as well. I didn't forget about you. But, you know, if you're working on creating our email signatures, at the very top of scottleroymarketing.com/templates, there's a video. It'll walk you through it step by step. You can pause it to follow along. So that'll really help too. But if you have any questions, support@scottleroymarketing.com. I would be more than happy to help you guys with everything. Those of you that are still on, feel free to stay on. I'm going to answer your questions. If you're watching this class recorded, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.